All right, so we are doing the first phase of our sodium bicarb testing. This is the control phase. So what we're gonna do is have normal Maurten energy gels with no sodium bicarb in them as the control. And we're gonna do a little time trial. We're gonna do a warm-up up to where we're gonna start. It'll probably be 15-20 minutes-ish. And then we'll map out the course that we're gonna do for the trial. And then we'll each do it and test our lactate levels. And then we'll come back later this evening and do the same thing with the sodium bicarb. This last section of the trial is steep.
Okay, so we're gonna do our initial baseline lactate reading on Vic right now. So part of the whole point of this experiment is to just see if the lactate levels in our blood are changing considerably when we have the sodium bicarbonate. So lactate is basically a byproduct of carbohydrate metabolism. Generally speaking, it's going to increase as your body can't keep up with the high intensity work. So it's commonly used in coaching or in sports science to sort of determine intensity zones or just intensity levels. So we're going to start with just getting a baseline reading after our warm-up, and then we'll do another reading at the end of each trial just to kind of get a sense of how things are changing. There we go. Then I'm going to just wipe off that initial blood. Let's get, there we go. So now you can take this and hold that to your finger. It's 1.5 millimole, so that's pretty standard for kind of just low endurance exercise. And kind of 2 millimole is usually kind of where that considered to be that lactate turn point, where you start going into more higher intensity zones above your kind of aerobic threshold. 1.6, a little higher, going a little harder. So we'll just record those, and then now we're gonna head down to get ready to
start the first trial.
Do the first trial.
So this is the same as the Maurten bicarb, but without the bicarb. It's just the gel. So we figured for our first trial we'd do that just in case carbohydrate plays a role in the difference. We're trying to keep as many variables the same as we can, and then just change that one bicarb variable. Here goes nothing.
2, 1, go.
Go Jackson! Woo! And I will be starting in about 5 minutes to give him some time to get up and do his first reading. Okay, that was hard. Doing the lactate for that trial, first one, lactate 13.7. Damn, that's quite high. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Come on, bud. Yeah. Woo. That was brutal.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Lungs are burning. Oh. Okay, so all right. So Maurten sent us oh my God. Sent us their bicarb system. I'm gonna open it, and we're gonna eat some before our second round of our time trial. So what we have here is we have this handy dandy little mixing jar, and then we have the bicarb system. It's an ABC system, right? So this A is the jar. The B, I believe, is the carbohydrate content, so this is going to be the gel. And then the C is the actual bicarb. They're these little capsules. So as we mix this, you'll be able to kind of see what the consistency is. And you're supposed to do this about an hour to 3 hours before you start whatever workout you're going to do. So that's what we're gonna do. Contents into component A. There's the carbohydrate mix. Oh boy. Oh, shake intensely.
Shake intensely.
I misread. So there's been a lot of research on sodium bicarb and what it does. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But essentially the problem is sodium bicarb is basically baking soda. But if you ingest baking soda, it can really mess up your gut. It gets into your GI system and can really just mess things up and make it so either you get really nauseated or it goes out the other end. So not good things. So what Maurten came up with is they have these the bicarb, but they're in these little capsules. You'll see them here in a minute. And basically what those capsules do, they get basically mixed into this gel. And so instead of being released in your stomach where normal sodium bicarb would be released, it stays in the gel until it's in your small intestine, where then it gets released, and so you don't have the same gastrointestinal issues that you normally would see. Gonna empty the sodium bicarb into the gel. Okay, there's little tiny little capsules.
It's like Dippin' Dots.
You mix them in. Ingest immediately. Do not chew. Here we go. Killian Jornet soup.
Yep.
Tastes like a Maurten gel. Not bad. It's actually kind of smooth. I mean, you can feel the little things, the little bicarb capsules, but they're so small that it's okay. It's weird not to chew.
Yeah, it's really weird not to chew. It just tastes like eating a spoonful of unflavored jelly.
Yeah. But it's not a bad consistency. Like, I like it more than the gels actually.
Yeah, I do too. Point of doing this whole experiment is first to kind of try out this new Maurten product, but also just to try out how we experience and the effects of sodium bicarbonate, which is one of actually the most well-researched and well-evidenced sports nutrition supplements, but it causes a lot of GI distress in more traditional forms like baking soda, which athletes have used for decades to mix results. Sodium bicarbonate works as an intracellular buffer. When we exercise, especially at high intensities, our body can't really keep up with the energy needs. So in order to do that, we start creating higher amounts of carbohydrate production or carbohydrate metabolism. That creates byproducts of lactate and hydrogen ions. And hydrogen ions are associated with that kind of like burning sensation, the fatigue in our muscles. So sodium bicarbonate acts to buffer that hydrogen ion production, forcing the hydrogen ions and lactate out of the muscles, which can improve performance in high intensity, sort of short bouts of exercise. So we're out here doing a short time trial, about 5 to 10 minutes long, and measuring our lactate levels with a lactate analyzer that I have to see if this sodium bicarbonate product actually increases our lactate levels, because we would expect potentially the sodium bicarbonate to increase our lactate in our blood as it buffers it out of the cells in our muscles, and potentially improve performance in this time trial. So we'll see what we discover. We're doing 2 trials of the same course that we designed. That's about 0.7 miles long, a little over 300 feet of vert. And the first trial was just using the Maurten carbohydrate gel.
No bicarb.
No bicarb. The second trial, a couple hours later, same course, but having just done ingested the bicarbonate solution to see if that does anything. So not necessarily the most scientific study of all time. And obviously, if this was a true scientific study, we would have done blinding and basically tried to not know what we were using for each trial, because we might have a little bit of placebo effect in this second trial, but it is what it is. We're just trying it out.
If there is an improvement in performance, that can show that this relationship between bicarb and performance is even stronger than we thought. Because if we're more fatigued now, but we get a better time or something like that, then that probably means that the bicarb is actually working pretty well.
Okay, so we're about to start second trial, trial number 2. 15.2 for the second trial. It's like almost 2 millimoles higher than my first one. I think I was faster on this one, so, oh, that was hard though. Whew. Let's go, come on. Come on. Come on. Yes.
Oh,
How was that?
oh gosh, brutal.
Ooh.